Okay, it's time for an update here. We haven't done an update for, what was it, Cam?
7 months.
7 months, which is really bad. But so we've done a lot of stuff. As you can see, we have the 350 Chevy engine here, mostly assembled. We're setting the valves right now to get it ready. We're gonna basically make this into a little running stand. I've got this running stand that I've used for years for my Oldsmobile engines, but it's going to take major mods to get it to work for a small block Chevy, so I don't really want to cut it up. So I'm going to use some of the controls and stuff for it. So I already have gauges on it and a lot of the wiring and the solenoid switch. So we're going to use some of that stuff to run this engine, but we're getting it all together. So taught Cam how to set the hydraulic valves, which is pretty easy to do, but he's doing that now. This is the last cylinder. We had to go back and do number 8 again because I didn't have him do it quite right the first time a little bit. So there it is. We got it painted. We got the H-body special pan on it. We've got the H-body special water pump, brand new. We got the pulleys painted up and put on there. I had to take the fan off so we don't cut our hands, so I got the clutch on there just because we need to use those bolts, those fine thread bolts. Yep, we got our valve covers painted. Need to get the rubber grommets for them. Need to find the right sizes for those. So if anybody knows of where those, I can get those without too much trouble. And we cleaned and painted up the exhaust manifolds with some high heat POR product. Those came out looking pretty good. I've used that stuff before on my Impala I had before. It worked really well. But engine looks nice. Had to modify the stand a little here. We're gonna put the starter on it there, and the exhaust pipe. Yeah, I got an old crusty starter, but it works. And then we'll put that Y pipe on it, and we'll actually run it out the door here. I gotta get the radiator kind of rigged up on it. Oh, gonna make a little stand. So yeah, thanks to the H-body. There's an H-body group on Facebook. I was having trouble finding a radiator, and we found this aluminum radiator from Champion. There's a part number. There it is. This CC4693 row.
Pretty nice.
Anyway, we're gonna use that. Here it is. Out of the way. So yeah, looks nice. It barely fits. It's tight. There's some minor mods you got to make to the car to get it to fit, but it basically fits. It's a little bit different. Yeah, just set it back down in there. And then the other big, we did a lot, like I said, there's a lot that we've done. So the car, if you remember the last video, we had just pressure washed it and we were cleaning it, and we were trying to figure out if we were going to do black or paint it back body color, which you can see we decided body color, and I'm really glad we did. Came out really nice. I bought a factory paint code. I think it's paint code 22 for this blue. Synthetic urethane, single stage paint. Mixed it up and shot it with my gun. And it came out really nice. We spent a lot of time cleaning and then roughing up the whole inside of this. And we did, some of these areas down in here had a lot of rust. So we put the POR on it first, and you let it start to dry and you let it get tacky, and then you shoot the blue paint over it. And it came out really nice, and it's going to be pretty durable, I think. So.
Oh, we did this. That was disgusting.
Yeah, we cleaned that up and painted that. The steering arm. I think we had the steering gearbox in here last time, but we didn't have. So all this is the cross member underneath here. This is all new or newly installed. So this was all painted with some industrial paint. My neighbor owns a business, and he helped me out there and sandblasted and painted all these cross member pieces. It's actually 4 pieces bolted together. He also did the control arms, all the control arms and stuff earlier, but we had that stuff on. But we got the steering, the tie rod ends, the sway bar is on it with all new bushings, the sway bar bushings and the in links, and the shocks are in it. We got the shocks in it. So the underneath the car is basically done. It's all painted and looks really nice and like new. And the engine bay looks nice. We did POR, all this black. This all had kind of some surface rust on it. And if you remember this channel here where the radiator goes, this was heavily rusted. We were able to get most of that out, and then POR'd it and painted that with the blue also. So this is where the radiator sits in here, and over there there's some rubber mounts that go there. So yeah, it came out really nice. We're really happy we did the blue. I wish the whole car looked that nice, but not ready to repaint the whole car just yet. So what else we got?
Do anything else?
No, I don't think so. I think it was mostly the engine bay and getting the engine together. The engine was a ton of work. So we've got all these parts that we've got painted. So we got the flywheel cover, the fan itself, the top plate for the radiator,
Nice.
the dipstick, the exhaust, the shields for the spark plug boots, all the brackets for the air conditioning and alternators. That's all painted. Haven't done anything with the power steering pump yet. It still is pretty gross looking.
Oh, we sent the brake thing.
Oh yeah, the brake booster, I sent it off to be rebuilt through Napa. Has a company that'll rebuild them. So I sent them that, and they're going to rebuild it. Next thing we got to do is the transmission is rebuilt. It's just dirty. So we're going to clean it up and probably paint it. But it's kind of gnarly looking. It doesn't really look that good. But the inside of it's all new. Just the outside of it. We pressure washed it, and it just needs painted. So that's probably one of the next things we'll do. After we get the engine fired up, like I said, once we get it running, we're going to work out any leaks or anything goofy here before we put it in the car. Because once it's in the car, there's no room to do anything. It's tight. I don't really want to take it in and out of the car twice. So we're going to run on this stand, get this stand kind of built out, get it running, warm it up, heat cycle it, make sure it doesn't leak anything, and resolve all that. So that's where we're at. I think that's all we've got done, Ken. I think we're pretty good. I don't think there's anything else really to show. We have to rebuild the carburetor. So it's got these cars had a dual jet. So this is basically a half a quadrajet. It's a 2-barrel Rochester carburetor. They work really well. This one just needs cleaned up and rebuilt. And the distributor, I'm going to go ahead and pull it apart and put new bushings in it if it needs it, and the ignition module, and just do normal replacement stuff for that. I think everything else. There's these bushings I need for the valve covers. These are hard as a rock, so I'd like to source new bushings. That's the alternator bracket, all coated and painted, ready to go. So we're going to put that on for the running stand so we can get a belt on it, so we can tighten the alternator up so we can run the water pump. But yeah, that's where we're at. We've made a ton of progress. We had some downtime, but we did get back to it and got the engine pretty well done. Just trying to put all the little things on it now so we can fire it up. I think that's it.
That's it.
All right.